Last time on Sealed Only Sunday. Ooh, is that a dual disc? Sweet, I always wanted one of these. Well, I'll give him this. I did not expect to even win once. Why on earth did this take 3-1? I can't get over it. This is so stupid. Well, last week certainly was interesting. How the hell did we end up winning 3 games? Oh, I have no idea anymore, but welcome back to Sealed Only Sunday, where in the last episode, we absolutely crushed our first ever locals against my community that apparently wasn't quite ready for what was coming to them. But, you know, they live and learn just like we do. Now, if you remember last episode, we ended it with 350 DP to our name thanks to our completed challenges. This also means that my paycheck has rolled in, and we can add another 2,500 onto it. This means that we have a decent enough budget to actually make some solid improvements to the deck. As we realized last time, the deck is incredibly good at setting up one specific combo, being Fortress and Citadel, but lacks anything in case that combo just simply isn't enough to win the game. I mean, a 3,000 bungas is good, but it's not as good as we want it to be. What we need to look for in the shop this week, given the circumstance, is anything to fill out our extra deck, as well as a few new strategies to introduce so that we don't have to run all of the bad machine monsters. With no further ado, I'ma click the button.
Welcome back. I can hear your virtual pockets ringing from over here. Someone must have done surprisingly well last week. As you can see, the stock has changed this week. I hope you find something to your liking. Once you are finished here, I've added a new teleport location to your dual disc. I have a feeling it will benefit the both of us.
Well, on the plus side, there probably is something we can do with this week's stock, so to speak, but I'm not entirely sure that it's the greatest thing we'll ever have to do. The sets we have on display today are okay. I mean, Genesis Impact has something that we actually need, which would be some extra deck stuff. I mean, just having access to Phoenix and Unicorn is a good enough start to do anything, really. Rising Rampage, on the other hand, is home to things like the Tenyi Spirits, but most of them are completely useless to us, unfortunately, and the only real card in there that would be worth anything to pick up would be Appaloosa. But an Appaloosa as a secret and nothing else doesn't really warrant the purchase. Looking at the Dark Illusion, there's actually a couple of interesting cards in this set that may be worth picking up a couple of packs for. All of the rares are completely garbage because most of them are Metaphors, which we don't really have any use for. But in the super rare slot, we actually have Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Super Dora. I don't think we can quite summon this yet unless we specifically have 2 Citadels on the board, but knowing how it went last week, it's technically possible. We also have some of the Paleozoics in there, although not the good one, but we still have them in there, so that's something. Secret rares, we also have Cosmic Cyclone and Pot of Desires. We already have Cosmic Cyclones, but I feel they should be mentioned anyway. We also have Coral Dragon that could be useful if we ever get into Synchro plays. Now, Dark Neostorm, on the other hand, holy moly, do we have some actual value we might be able to pick up here. In the secret rare spot, we have things like Signet Mining, Cherubini, and probably most importantly for us, Mech Knight Crusadia Avramax. Of course, we're gonna need 2 other Link monsters in order to summon him, but he is quite the boss monster if Citadel fails to do its job. In the rare slot, we unfortunately don't have much of ways of usefulness, but a Muddy Mud Dragon could be nice to pick up at least. Super rare, on the other hand, now is when stuff gets good. Mystic Mine and Crackdown are both in here, and Crackdown is incredibly good for a deck like ours, where we lack any potential sort of interaction with our opponent. but in the ultra rare slot, I think is the one card I would really like to have for the extra deck, Dingirsu. Dingirsu should be summonable with us thanks to Fortress being a level 8. If we can get 2 Fortresses on board, we can very easily overlay them into Dingirsu, and Dingirsu is a machine, meaning we can blow it up using Citadel if we have to. Getting that would be absolutely astounding. The commons in this set, though, are absolutely useless for us, so it'll have to be a high roll. As for the promotional products, we can't afford any of them, so we'll simply have to skip this week. But that puts us in a conundrum. I would actually want to pick up both packs of Genesis Impact and Dark Neostorm, I think, because they are the biggest playmakers we really have. Pulling a Dingirsu would be great, and just filling out the extra deck seems like the correct thing to do. I think what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to pick up 6 packs of Genesis Impact and 6 packs of Dark Neostorm. This way we can try and ensure that we get the extra link monsters that we need out of Genesis Impact, as well as have an attempt of picking up Dingirsu from Dark Neostorm. Right, with that out of the way, let's go open some packs and hope we get something out of this. Okay, well, let's make it the simple way, and let's start off with the Genesis Impact packs. I am hoping for Phoenix and Unicorn. Those are like the 2 cards that we need. We're gonna get ourselves a Performate's Damage Juggler, Drytron Asterism, Book of the Law, Star Drawing, World Legacy World Lance, Live Twin Channel, and Live Twin Home. Damn it. For pack number 2, Bottomless Trap Hole's really good, Extra Foolish Burial, Drytron Asterism, Beta Rastaban, Griffin is not the one we want, Theurgy, and oh, Metatonus Drytron! That's a good card. I mean, it's worth money, but it's unplayable for us. Pack number 3, Beta Rastaban, Delta Alteus, Cyberse Gadget, Worldlands, Star Drawing, Herald of Ultimateness, and Drytron Alpha Thuban. Wow, we're picking up a Drytron core here, Jesus. Pack number 4, we're gonna get a Star Drawing, Evil Twin Present, Drytron Eclipse, Nightmare Unicorn, thank God, Cyberse Gadget, Beta Rastaban, and Live Twin Leela. I'm just happy that we finally picked up a unicorn because heaven knows we needed it. For pack number 5, we're going to get ourselves a Meteor Shower, Zeta Aldebra, Book of the Law, Cyberse Gadget, another Herald of Ultimateness, another Beta Rastaban, and a Live Twin Leela again. Oh, if only we could get one of the Link monsters, that would have been helpful. Right, last pack of Genesis Impact coming right up. We are going to get ourselves another Nightmare Unicorn, another Bottomless Trap Hole, Cyber Angel Ben 10, Delta Alteus, Evil Twin Present, Live Twin Channel, and Drytonus Metaton Big Boy. Oh, that's a bit disappointing, actually. We only managed to get Unicorn from this. We didn't even pick up a Phoenix, which is really, really bad, but at least we have one card in the extra deck that's actually useful now, and we got some Bottomless Trap Holes, which is decent enough. Right, let's then head into our Dark Neostorm 6 packs, because we are hoping to pick up some actually good cards here. I'll be really darn happy if we can get anything useful. A Dingirsu would send me over the moon. Alright, we're looking at Dinosaur, Enkamakurachiba, Valkyrie Chariot, Goki the Blade Ogre, Goki the Solid Ogre, Pazlamunio the Drop-In Deleter, Pegasus Wing, World Legacy Collapse, Valkyrie Funft, and Crackdown! Crackdown is such a good card for us. We don't have any real control tools in our back row, so Crackdown is great. Right, pack number 2, we got Goki the Blade, Deus Ex Crawler, Snowman Effect, Dino Wrestler whatever, Dice It, World Legacy Collapse, Goki the Solid Ogre, Valkyrie Funft, and World Legacy Monstrosity. Monstrosity is a very good card, but I don't think it's necessarily playable for us. Right, pack number 3, we got a Dice It, a Dino Wrestle Marshall Onga, a Tyrant Dino Fusion, one of the Mayakashis, World Legacy Collapse, Blade Ogre, Terra Pancreoto, You're in Danger, as well as Destiny Hero Dominance. Hey, we're not playing heroes quite yet, so that's useless. Right, pack number 4, we got ourselves an Incapitation Thanatosis, Altergeist Film Flying, Cupid Dunk, another Mayakashi, Azult Mode 0, Marshall Onga, Tyrant Dano Fusion, Madolcha Teacher, Glass Souffle, and yes! Oh my god, we actually picked up a fucking Dingirsu! We got a good card! Oh, that's sick! Oh, sweet bejeebus! Right, pack number 5, we got what we came for. Handy Gallop, Altergeist Finnelfang, XYZ Slitterdolphin, the Incantation Whatever, Grid Sweeper, Firewall Guardian, Goki the Blade Ogre, Assault Reboot, and Dirge of the Lost Dragon. I don't care. Right, final pack of today, let's go. Cyber's Reminder, Guard Dragon Reincarnation, Mordschlag, Puzzle Nemo the Whatever, Assault Mode 0, Packet Swap, Goki the Blade Ogre, Super Quantum White Layer, and Fusion Destiny. Yo, we got an actual Dingirsu though! We've got so much deck building to do, but first off, I suppose we have to check out that new teleport location, and you all already know what's coming. You watched Season 1, let's go get a challenge. Alright then, challenges, come at me.
That's not a very nice way to introduce yourself.
No kidding.
I'm more surprised he knew what we had in store for him.
Maybe he's done this sort of thing before?
No matter. Allow us to introduce ourselves. I'm Gem.
And I'm Amy. And together, we're the Gemini Twins.
And we'll be your challenge hosts starting today.
How exciting.
We've already been informed by tour guide how things used to be run, but you'll find it's a bit different here.
Well, color me impressed. That was actually well timed. So, give me the scoop. What's different this time around?
For starters, you are no longer forced to take a challenge.
It's up to you whenever you want one.
Not only that, but challenges now require a fee.
We have a coffee shop to run, you know.
It may not sound that lucrative to you as it stands,
but just you wait.
Challenges have had their rewards increased massively from the last time you performed them. Not only that, but you have more types of rewards available to you, depending on the challenge.
Duel points you should be familiar with by now. It's the main economy in the virtual world. Star chips have also made a return, but perform a much different task than what you are used to. They now allow you to upgrade certain aspects of the virtual world. I take it you've seen the locked shop slots? Once you gather up a couple of them, we'll get in touch with the upgrader. For now, just focus on getting some. Lastly, there's the wild cards. A wildcard is a special type of reward that allows you to manipulate your openings. They are quite rare and come in multiple variants, so you will have to find some to figure out what they do.
Sorry for taking so long, but the information was needed. For now, the first challenge is on the house. Have fun.
Well, that explained about every question I can have. So we're back to doing challenges once again, but this time around they come with massive rewards and massive costs. Our first one is free, and we have 3 on display from our Discord community, so if you would like to suggest a challenge, of course, head over to the Make a Challenge room on the Discord and challenge away. Regardless, we have 3 options here, and all of them will reward us with some additional DP if we succeed with them, and all of them seem basic enough. I mean, dealing 4,000 damage to an opponent with a single attack can be done, not that we have that many monsters that can do it without, buffing them. Salty Rumback seems like a possible thing to do as well, but forcing ourselves to lose Game 1 to take Game 2 and 3 is very difficult, and using Scrap Recycler we haven't actually done once yet. Huh. You know what, I'm going to take the Salty Runback challenge for free this week, because I think that may be the easiest one to perform. Now that we have a challenge for the week, let's head back to base and do some deck building. Look, I'm gonna be honest here, we actually have some massive upgrades for the deck today. I mean, yeah, we're in episode 2, but holy crap, we pulled a fucking Dingirsu. Do you guys even understand how good Dingirsu's going to be in this deck? Now, I was talking out of my ass just a moment ago because I had clearly forgotten that Fortress is a level 7 and not an 8, but both Irradiator and Air Raider is level 8. And they're quite easy to special summon from hand, meaning we can very easily overlay into a Dingirsu. Not only that, but we also have Puzzle Mino, which, if we somehow summon that, we can summon something into its zone to manipulate its level to 8, considering everything we have as a machine, and easily get a Dingirsu out that way. In addition, we of course have Unicorn, which is a great extra deck monster for us since we can just spin problematic cards back to the deck. And we also have a Griffin to pick up something like well, any spell card, really. There's not that many we'd want to pick up, but, we can do it. With that in mind, we're still going to play nearly the same deck as we did last week, with a couple of changes. We have now included the Crackdown and 2 of the Bottomless Trap Holes, because remember, Osley is still our rival. His main monster is Baladrock. If we can deal with Baladrock, or Balayadrock, or whatever the hell we're going to call him, banishing him is pretty good. I mean, he can't come back if he's banished. And he can't negate that, so... Hey, screw it, we're gonna do it. We're gonna run them as well, of course. We're still running the Psychic Eraser Laser in our side deck and everything, but really, if we manage to get out Dingirsu, I think we're as good as done. With that out of the way, here is this week's deck list in full, and let's head out and take on the community once more, shall we? So for game number 1, we've done a bit of an oopsie. As you can see, in round number 1, we went back up against Mr. Mothman and his Zealed-only zombies, but the replay was corrupted. I can summarize this game very quickly, though. Baladrock. The end. Let's just say that Baladrock and Zombie World basically killed us completely this time around as we failed to find any of our back row removal, turning all of our machines into zombies, leaving us completely vulnerable to just being beaten in the face by Baladrock. It was good games nonetheless, but we did take a 0-2 loss because of that guy. Alright, so let's get into some of the actual duels for the week. First of all, we got match number 2 up against Coda, where we're playing Plunder Patrol. Great. Alright, we activate our redeployment, getting ourselves our usual combo to hand, going for a Fortress as well as an Irradiator on field. Activate Irradiator's effect to bring back a second Fortress, which activates Citadel, bringing it to the field, and we set ourselves one Bottomless Trap hole. And this is a decently strong combo here if we had any overlays for rank 7. Regardless, Coda's going to activate Pot of Desires, banishing 10, normal summoning one of his... what? It's Whitebeard, I never remember. Activating Emblem, we forced to blow it up, but Emblem, of course, goes to trigger summoning Golden Air, which is going to bring out the new support they got, Black Eyes. Black Eyes is really good. He's going to hard summon a Moark, thanks to the fact that we only have Earth attributes, which gets him a Plunder Patrol booty to hand, setting the booty, activating another Emblem onto the Moark, and, Moark is actually really hard for us to out. Booty gets flipped, which turns our Citadel into a light type, and that summons Liss. We attempt to activate Bottomless, but because it destroys first, Moark can protect it. At this point, he does get rid of our newly summoned Fortress, which removes one Ash from his hand, and he had Ash and Gamma, so no matter what we done, we were basically screwed. We attack into the Moark, but of course, it is still protected thanks to the fact that it is Moark, and we scoop him up, realizing we can't break it. Going into game number 2, we draw ourselves a Cosmic Cyclone, which is decent, though not great. We also have 2 Citadels in hand, which is always bad. We get ourselves a Fortress on board, summoning the Scrap Recycler face down, setting our Cyclone, and he again starts with Pot of Desires. That goes into Shipyard, which we immediately destroy because Cyclone. He summons Bluebeard, goes into Almirage to trigger the Bluebeard effect, pitching another Pot of Desires, summoning Black Eyes from hand. He links both of them off into Blackbeard. And yes, the pirate voice is necessary. He flips over Booty yet again, turning our Fortress into a Dark type, allowing him to summon a Moark, and now we're in trouble yet again. We activate our redeployment, pitching our Citadel, but that gets ashed. Shit. Moark activates, of course, targeting the Fortress here, and his hand was Skullmeister, Ash, in case you were wondering. He then activates the Moark effect, getting back Shipyard to his hand, and then goes ahead and activates Shipyard, and then grabs a Whitebeard to hand by pitching a Skullmeister. He then switches Moark to attack position, breaking our Fortress, going into Citadel, which we are forced to pop immediately. It does destroy his entire board, but then activates Whitebeard effect so he can summon out Redbeard from deck. At this point, a good draw could win us the game. That ain't it, Chief. Because Possessed Storage is a Dark type, that means it doesn't trigger Citadel, and he can do a bunch of quick effect shenanigans just because it's not an Earth. Booty, of course, will target the Possessed Storage, which will allow him to special summon both Liss and Moark from the extra deck, forcing us to end our turn, and at this point, we are in a sticky situation. We're forced to blow up our Citadel, but of course that gets negated by Liss, and you can probably guess where this is going. All because Possessed Storage was not an Earth type. Ooh, he normal summons yet another one, goes into Bluebeard, links them both off into White Aura Whale, or Synchro Summoning, blows up our Possessed Storage, and at this point, he simply ends turn, allows us to draw, and we know we're fucked. Damn it. For game number 3 today, we're going up against Mothwoman playing Fluffles, or probably the brickiest hands I've ever seen in my entire life. We do manage to get out our Fortress with 3 back row at this point, to which he is going to activate Toy Vendor. Toy Vendor is going to trigger pitching a 1-for-1 drawing a Dolphin. Dolphin gets to special summon itself, and unfortunately, that's the end of the turn. At this point, I'm thinking, okay, there is an Edge-Imp Saber in hand there, I have to be careful. I'm going in straight into battle phase, beating over the Dolphin, and nothing. Oh. Okay, Foolish Barrel of Goods hits the ground, which is going to send a Toy Vendor. Toy Vendor, of course, is going to draw a card, which is going to be Fluffle Wings. Normal summon Wings. Oh. Oh, that cannot have been a good hand if that's what we have to end on. Redeployment is going to activate Give Me, Irradiator, and Citadel. We're going to activate Irradiator, special summoning it, activating the effect of Back to the Front, and here comes the new boy, Dingirsu. We don't exactly need it here, but we go ahead and do it anyway, getting rid of the wings just for shenanigans, activator limiter removal, and going in for the win of Game 1. Game number 2, we are of course getting to go first, as you would expect against Fluffles. This time around, our hand is actually kind of good. We go ahead for the Fortress as usual, setting to back row and passing turn, which is a usual standard of ours. Then a Fight for Patchwork comes in, and at this point I'm going, okay, there's no way this fails. Toy Vendor lands, Toy Vendor gets activated, pitching a Foolish Barrier Goods, which draws an Edge Imp Scythe of all things. That's unfortunate. Setting a card face down, meaning, okay, if Scythe was pitched, there has to be one in hand. We go ahead and activate Air Raider, going into the battle phase, beating over the Edge Imp Chain, and it draws a Patchwork. Oh no, don't tell me. We activate Overdrive, destroying our Air Raider, which is going to summon Citadel from deck as well as Citadel from the graveyard. We flip open our limiter removal to beat in for a grand total of 12,000 damage. And unfortunately, there is no turn 2. That had to be the most unfortunate brick of all time. For the last game of today, we are once again going up against Bosuke, but Bosuke this time has joined in on the server's sealed-only craze, apparently, and is playing sealed-only Orcusts. He manages to end on a Galatea and 3 back row, and I'm sitting here wondering what the hell I'm playing against. We activate Galaxy Cyclone, which actually hits one of the Shiranui, I think, trap cards? We activate Supply Squad, going into Machina Redeployment, pitching our Megaform, drawing the usual to our hand, going into our Fortress, which is going to attempt to bash into Galatea, but we get compulsed. We go into main phase 2 and simply summoning the Fortress back by pitching the Irradiator, setting our limited removal, and passing turn, hoping that that is enough. Galatea is scary, by all means, as he normal summons Phantom Skyblaster. What in the world is happening right now? Skyblaster becomes a Link Spinder, which he then links off into Orchestrion. It's a literal floating piano. Regardless, he passes turn knowing that we have things in the graveyard to trigger as we draw back to the front, which isn't exactly great. We activate limiter removal just to beat in for a chunky 2k damage and triggering the effect off of our Citadel. Citadel is going to be destroyed, of course, activating our Supply Squad, banishing it for the Megaform, hoping to draw a card that can actually get us out of the situation. We draw into Citadel. It's not it. With that, we simply have to pass, of course, as he draws into Terraforming an Orchestrated Babel. Holy crap, is this a week 1 deck? This has everything! Normal Summoning Dark Beckoning Beast, which draws Opening to the Spirit Gates to hand, which is going to be activated to draw a Chaos Summoning Beast, because you've seen this combo before, probably. Chaos Summoning Beast, Special Summoning Self, because you have Dark Beckoning Beast, and at this point, Link Haribo is going to activate, bringing itself to the field. And he decides to overextend, forgetting that he banished his World Wand off of Pot of Desires. He sends Nightmare to the graveyard, now having no target and being forced to pass to us, meaning we have an opportunity to end the game. We do draw Gear Frame, which isn't exactly the best one, but we draw an Irradiator, linking off into Dingirsu. Dingirsu popping the Curious, which is going to shuffle a card back, but that doesn't matter because we can activate Gear Frame, drawing a Fortress, using Fortress effect to pitch Citadel to summon itself, and we are just enough for lethal. Oh boy, that was way closer than I'd want it to be. For game number 2, our opening hand is about as bad as you might expect, but it does have a redeployment at the very least. Opening of the Spirit Gates is going to be activated, drawing the Chaos Summoning Beast, which is going to, of course, normal summon the Dark Beckoning Beast, which is going to activate its effect to get opening of the Spirit Gates. Then, Chaos Summoning Beast activates, getting to special summon itself thanks to Dark Beckoning Beast, making a Link Haribo, making a Pentastag, activating Opening to get Chaos Summoning Beast back, linking off into Transcode Talker, setting 2. That's a weird one, but okay, we'll deal with it. We have Fortress, of course. We activate our redeployment, pitching a Fortress in order to draw us into an Irradiator and an Air Raider. At this point, we go into Fortress, which get bottomless. Okay, Irradiator is going to special summon itself, as we're going to bring out our second Fortress, getting our Sky Raider back, which triggers Citadel. Citadel summons itself, which triggers a Torrential Tribute. Ooh. We go into Scrap Recycle, normal summoning to throw another Citadel into the graveyard, going into the battle phase and doing the mightiest 900 damage of all time. Then we're forced to pass turn as our hand, and yeah, everything's empty. We have a Scrap Recycler. Opening of the Spirit Gates is going to activate to bring back the Chaos Summoning Beast, normal summoning Orcus Symbol Skeleton, linking off into Galatea. That's bad. Galatea, however, is choosing not to attack because knowing that Citadel comes back. We go into Possess Storage, bringing back the Citadel regardless because we don't care about anything. Activating Possess Storage accidentally, which could have thrown the game. Ah, misclicks. You wouldn't be doing that in real life now, would you? Regardless, our Citadel is now in our hand, leaving us completely vulnerable as Opening of Spirit Gates is activated once again, drawing Dark Beckoning Beast, normal summoning Mr. Skater Boy. Dark Beckoning Beast comes out, Galatea is linked off for the Orchestrion, and then, of course, Symbol Skeleton's going to bring back Galatea. At this point, we are in deep shit as we draw Mega Form for turn, which nearly does nothing, but it does allow us to special summon Fortress at least, beating it to Galatea for 700 points of damage, but not much else. Bosky is then going to draw for turn, activating Galatea's effect to set a core from deck, normal summoning Chupacabra of all things, attacking into our Scrapper Cycle, which is going to trigger Citadel. Citadel is going to blow itself up when targeted for an attack. Fortress, of course, is going to destroy the core when destroyed, but it's still not looking great. We draw Supply Squad for turn, which is horrible, but we activate it anyway, and then using Fortress effect, pitching our other Citadel in order to bring it back, hoping that we can defend ourselves for at least a turn. During his turn, he simply sets one and passes, not attacking into our Fortress, which is good for us, I suppose. We normal summon Gearframe dragging an Irradiator to hand, because it is the one target we have left to do so, activating Gearframe to protect our Fortress, hoping that it's enough to simply sit there and wall out until we can get into something like Dingirsu. He sets another card during his turn and ends turn yet again, so we do get ourselves another draw, and it's a Jisekiru. That's perfect. That outs the stupid flying piano, but it does give him a stronger beater in the process, which I honestly don't care about too much at this point. He does activate Herald of the Abyss, however, which triggers a lot of things as we attempt to get back Megaform, but Showdown of the Secret Send Scroll whatever negates it. Of all cards to have. Regardless, we draw into the back of the front for turn, which isn't great, but we are forced to set it here because it is the one way we survive another normal summon. He draws for turn. Nothing! Goes into the battle phase where we flip open back to the front, bringing back our Irradiator, which gets destroyed, allowing both Citadel and Supply Squad to activate, drawing us a card and getting Citadel back onto the board. He sets one, passes turn back to us, and we're now in turn 16, everybody. We draw a Gearframe for turn, which is not half bad. We activate Gearframe, getting ourselves another Irradiator, and if we can live one more turn, we may actually have a way out of this. We equip Gearframe onto our Citadel, putting it in defense position to make sure that not much can get over it. He goes into the battle phase and punches it, which destroys our Gearframe, but keeps us alive. We now have the Dingirsu play. We go for the Irradiator in hand, pitching another Citadel to special summon it, then activating back to the front, bringing back Megaform, and then Exceed summoning into Dingirsu. Dingirsu is going to get rid of Jisekiru. We go into the battle phase and we begin doing attacks, but then Mirror Force gets flipped. But because of Dingirsu, we can protect it, and we actually take the game. That was way closer than I'd expected. This is kind of more of what I expected coming out of a sealed-only deck. It is quite clear where we need to improve the deck going forward, as we have a lot of issues dealing with boards where simple destruction just isn't enough. But even so, especially in that sealed-only Orcust match, we actually had a lot of interaction, even if it was mostly based on both players being bad. Regardless of that, a 2-2 score for week number 2 seems very fitting for episode number 2. There was a lot of 2s there, I'm sorry. Regardless of that, though, I will happily take this as it moves us right along to our rewards board. For those that didn't watch episode 1, you might not know what this is, so I highly suggest you go back to that episode and check it for a full description. For the rest of us, though, this is quite some rewards considering this week didn't really go all that well. 2 wins gives us 100. We did actually tie with Mothman this week, meaning we only take half the pricing for Rivalry. We did manage to summon our Dingirsu in 2 matches, so we do get a new card bonus this week. We did only summon Citadel in 3 of our 4 games, because we never got to summon it in the match with Mothman, and we did actually score a Comeback King victory in our match against Orcust, because let's be honest, that was quite the comeback. A grand total of 325 will be added into our account, awaiting use next week. It should probably not also come as a surprise that we failed our challenge this week. We never really got to a game 3. That's kind of unfortunate, but then again, this time around, of course, challenges are optional, but they reward massively should you succeed. We'll just have to try again next week. With that out of the way, that's the end of today's episode. Next week, I am hoping to God in the shop we get something that bolsters our strategy. Either that or something that completely turns it on its head. While Citadel is a decently good boss monster, the community seems to have understood what we're doing now, and in doing so, they're going to do their best to stop us. It's a tad unfortunate, but it is what we have to do. We'll simply have to see. Again, nothing is in my hands this time around, and it's a lot harder than you may think. Regardless, If you enjoy this episode, remember to click a subscribe button because the analytics are not on my side anymore. Click the like button as well, and if you want to support the show, there is a link to both Patreon and YouTube membership down by the description below. Any support you give is going to go straight into creating content and buying me coffee, because that's usually what I do with it. Regardless, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and remember, as always, stay safe out there.